Hi, this is Tutor Nick P, and this is Word Origins 155. The word origin today is Mayday. Okay, let's take a look at the note here. If someone, especially someone in a plane, ship, etc., is saying Mayday, or often they are screaming Mayday and they're repeating it, usually Mayday, Mayday. That's the way you often hear it. That's the way you often see it in movies. It is a distress call for help. Remember, if somebody's in distress, they're in a serious situation where they need help. The term is often repeated in a nervous, frantic manner. Yeah, frantic, very nervous, very worried, losing control of your emotions. You don't know what to do. Manner, of course, means way. In a very frantic manner in times of an emergency. All right, let's continue. The origin of this started to be used in the 1920s and derives, remember derives means comes from, derives from French. It came from the French phrase Mayday, which comes from the French venez m'aider, which means come and help. Okay, well let's take a look at this now. Remember, in a lot of the Romance languages, like Spanish, Italian, French, Portuguese, very often if you have a word, especially a short word that has the same sound as another word, sometimes they'll form a conjunction. And that's what's actually happened here, because may would just simply be me. It's normally a word by itself, but since it begins with another word that has an A sound, they combine it together. So it's Mayday. And of course, remember French, a lot of times the last letter or the last syllable is sometimes silent. So that's why the R is not pronounced. And you can also see in French, that it's similar to the word for aid in English. Aid in English actually means help. So it's may in aid, m'aider, that's really what it comes from. So, which comes from, again, the French venez m'aider, which means come and help. Now, of course, in real emergencies, you want to make it as short as possible. So they probably cut out the venez and just stick with the Mayday. Help me, help me. That's basically what it means in French. All right, yeah, because a lot of times people might have I remember myself as, when I was young, watching these movies and the pilots always yelling, Mayday, Mayday. I say, why Mayday? Why they choose Mayday? What does Mayday have with this? Does that have something to do with the month of May? Or is it the modal like may or could or might? Why Mayday? Where'd that come from? So this, of course, answers that question. If you ever wondered why they yell Mayday and where it comes from, this is it. All right, let's continue. The term in English was coined by Frederick Stanley Mockford. He was a senior officer at Croydon Airport, and he was assigned with the duty of coming up with a term to express distress that could easily be understood by all pilots and ground staff. Since at that time, most air traffic was between Croydon Airport in the UK and Le Bourget Airport in Paris. In Paris. So that's why he needed some sort of a term or some sort of phrase that could be understood both by English speakers and French speakers. Now here, of course, this is no problem for French because it actually means help me in French. But in English, even though it doesn't directly mean like anything to do with help, it is a catchy and a simple phrase. May is easy to remember. We have a month called May, and it's a modal. It's a word that is commonly used, and the word day is commonly used. So it could be easy for English speakers to remember this term. So this is why this word was chosen. Okay, and we just have 3 examples here. Here's example number 1. In any emergency, pilots can send out a Mayday call. That's why you often hear it used too. Sometimes they'll put it together as a noun phrase and call it a Mayday call. Or here you just might hear somebody yelling at a screen, Mayday, Mayday, there's an emergency. And they just might be repeating Mayday many times, hoping that they will get some radio signal to some radio tower or, where some airport is or something, get out an emergency call. Especially when a plane is, having problems and it looks like it may crash or something like that, or they might be an emergency approaching, an airport. They need to land immediately. All right, and we just have the last one here. The plane went down, but there was no record of any Mayday calls. Okay, anyway, I hope you got it. I hope it's clear. I hope it's informative. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye.